best way to Alright, so this video is just a description for the greenhouse itself, the Temple Farm greenhouse. It's a modular, it's going to be a modular system, so I had a architect friend draft these things up here real quick, and like I said, they're not actually very accurate as far, I mean, they're accurate as far as the overall shape of what would be created, but as far as like the ground level and that kind of stuff, this would be recessed down about 4 feet. And then on the bottom or in the back part where the ground level would be, I would have concrete coming out and have some bays all the way along here. That would be for compost, working with compost and harnessing that heat to warm water. Water dissipates heat a lot slower. And over in Maine, where they got some year-round greenhouses, or deeper greenhouses, not quite year-round, but what they do is they'll take jugs, plastic jugs, and they'll fill them with water, and they'll line the whole floor, so that way when the sun heats it up during the day, it dissipates a lot slower at night, so they're able to grow for a lot longer through the year. So, like I said, out in the front field there, I want to start doing one of these this spring here. I've been collecting materials and all that for a while when I was framing and stuff. So, like I said, so when we get it in there, the idea is to then start determining how to modularize it. So we'll have pieces, we'll have an entryway piece, a body piece, a large body piece, a small body piece, and then an ending area. So one would be like for germinating and office work, and then power banks and all that kind of stuff, switches and everything. And then at the end it'd be processing the different essential oil stills or equipment and gear for whatever it is that the greenhouse is going to be doing, right? And so the shape of the greenhouse is specific, 27.5 degrees for solar. This one would be passive solar. This is the whole top is going to be a solar furnace. I know some people in the Twin Cities that built a straw bale house, and they heat their house completely with a solar furnace that isn't even that big. It's probably a little bigger than this TV, 86-inch TV. And with the straw bale house, with the really deep freeze they had that year, a few years ago, the furnace only kicked on twice through the whole winter. Otherwise, they were able to heat their house all that time with just a solar furnace. They're actually really effective if you do them right. And so we'll turn this entire top into a solar furnace. And so like I said, ultimately, that's for, you want to have that natural sun and all that, but in wintertime, we'll have to have lights. But year round, we'll have to have lights. And so ultimately, this is a system that could go inside, underground, in a shipping container, all that type of stuff. And they're highly efficient, so when I was running the urban farm and the garden in the city, we were with the way we laid out the garden, the plants and companion planting, 3 sisters, all that kind of stuff. We were able to produce an insane amount of food. We only measured for a couple months in one spot, but just that one location got 40,000 pounds of food. And so it's about being efficient. And for me, I've been talking to some people about creating different coupler systems for the power, water, boilers, all that kind of stuff that'll have to get hooked up and run through. I say we'll have to do some sort of cistern, but all that kind of stuff is going to get developed. And so when I do mine out in front for the prototype, so I want to have about 7 prototypes, one here specifically, and then wherever we have investors or different locations that we choose for regions, different temperatures, dry places, cold places, all the different opportunities to show that it can go anywhere. We can put it up in the tundra and have it farm fish. If you're living up in a keto spot, and you farm fish. Either way, the point is to be able to get power, water, energy, food, emergency shelter, all that kind of stuff. And so, if you can imagine an Earth ship. So on the Earth ships that they do out in the desert, a lot of them have these greenhouses built onto them that process their wastewater, collect water, filter it, all that kind of stuff. Well, this is essentially the same type of stuff, except for it's for plants, right? And and for around their needs as far as humidity, warmth, all that kind of good stuff. And so I have a generator design that is going to run along the top here, because this furnace will be venting heat and air. This roof, the solar furnace, will be venting heat and air, and that will turn that. Like I said, I got a couple other generator designs, and the point is, for all those, you have triple redundancy, and also that means you can go remotely anywhere, because then you can have access to water either by collection or primary water. And so you have everything you need in one place. So you are able to, not worry about municipalities and hooking up for that kind of stuff, right? In the city, there's empty lots that I wanted to be able to try some of these at, and really let people kind of run with their version of how they would use the garden. And so that after we have all these different personalities go after this and do it in their version, we can find out what works best, what's most efficient, what suits for different things, But for mine, the one I'm going to do up front, I want to do what's called permaculture lasagna quick beds. And so they're 4 feet wide, so you can access them from either side, and then they run down the center of their unit. And then inside of those, I want to have a combination of hydroponic and dirt, because like I said, we're going to be doing the compost. We're going to be able to collect, so you think about a farm and all the waste and all the stuff that's used there. You can create oils from that. You can create ethanols from that. You can, if you're doing husbandry, you can create methane. You can compress that. And so you imagine all the stuff that is tangential to the process of growing and getting rid of waste can all go back into a cycle, an ecology essentially for the system. So nothing goes to waste, and you get access to a lot of other good stuff in the meantime too. I also down the center of the lasagna bed, I want to do a version of a tower system with the lights on it that would spread out. As well as on the back, I want to have this type of wall system, growing system like that. So that way down the center, you would have the lights on these. That would be the fluorescent, the 5500. And then we would also kind of intersperse the incandescents, the 2 to 400 watt hypersodium metal halide, and so that way, like I said, when you get you'll get the sun, which would be nothing but a benefit or a bonus. But like I said, for that year-round system, we'll be able to create that the element through the lighting that we have, and by including natural sunlight, natural air, all that kind of stuff. It'll only have a benefit. It'll allow us to do the year-round type of growing and stuff. So, there's a guy in Russia, or not Russia, a guy in California from Russia that is actually specifically working on couplers for modular systems. I've done crane set. I used to set my own trusses with our JLG or Pettibone with a jib on it. So I've done crane set like that. We've done panel systems where it's pre-built walls where you crane those in and set them and tack them down. The main thing I'm thinking about is the roof. Setting the roof, but I mean it's just a matter of doing it. So, and then deciding, depending on the location, to either cut this in half and ship it in big pieces, or else to do it in preset panel systems that would just tip up and get tied together, and then we can drop roof sections on. So on the roof section, I'm thinking it'd likely be like a 2x8 metal stud for that, with an outer and inner layer of see-through. Um, Probably something harder for now. And like I said, that's one of those things where right now we have to go with plexiglass. There's not really much option unless we can go uh, with like a high quality glass. You know, I'm not sure. Those are types of things that have to be determined. And then if we have to go with whatever, I mean, it is what it is for now. Um, but that would be high on our checklist of to get out of in the future. So yeah, lasagna beds, and so I'm thinking, you know, mapping out the garden, like I said, with one of these down the center, with every probably 4 or 6 feet, one of those tower systems, and then one of the stuff on the back, you know, like that, you know, and then yeah, the cistern, heating, you know, all inclusive. So like I said, it can be go in a remote place, and I think about for these specifically is like in Pine Ridge, the way they set up the reservation is they do it in these little districts, you know, that divide and conquer mentality when they were putting these together because they didn't want everybody to congregate, right? And so, but it's the perfect scenario for one of these systems because you think about, you know, Calico or Porcupine or, you know, Mission or any of these places, Wolf Creek, you know, that you got a few people, they're easy to run, and so a small crew would be able to maintain it, but then as you draw people in, you could elaborate and grow on it. So, and with that, you'd be able to tap in and give people, you know, depending on how the size of the generators that they use with it, probably power a whole little neighborhood, you know, if you planned it that way. So, yeah, water collection, filtration, otherwise primary water access and drilling. 3 generators, 3 different types of generators for redundancy. Because like I said, when I think about independence, sovereignty, decolonizing, all that type of stuff, chemical free, you know, I think about it from like a military perspective. Can somebody cut off an aspect of that to influence you in some way? So if you have one of these systems, the idea is that you will be completely independent from any municipality, any need for all those types of things. So that all of those things would become a backup, you know, rather than your primary system. So yeah, that's the greenhouse video, and I will be back with more. I appreciate your time. I hope.